So I always tell people, if nobody cared, if nobody was watching you, would you still do this? And if the answer is no, you might want to reconsider. Second thing I want to talk about, there was a study done by some doctors for the Journal of Bone and Joint Surgery, I believe, and they discovered that many of the people who are joining the military today have the bone density of people twice their age. That means that this generation is not getting up and going outside. They're sitting around, most of them sitting around playing video games, scrolling on their phone, just not being active and physical anymore. And then another study showed in 2022 by the CDC that half of the people ages 18 to 25 do not do 30 minutes of exercise a day, let alone in a week. And for the military, that's bad news, because the DoD determined that 70% of the young people who we need to qualify for the military can't, because of physical stuff and health reasons. So the 30% who can, they keep telling themselves, oh, I'll work out when I get into basic training. And so what's happened?
All right. So I mean, you got to. This is just this is very interesting because just think about in today's world, right? Obesity. I mean, you got to know that our military, the USA, the USA Army military, gotta suck right now. Now I can imagine back, especially when I was going to join. I was going to join the military back when I was like 17 because they was trying to recruit me like a mug. You know, they was chasing me when I finished high school. It was interesting though, man, because it makes me wonder why they was chasing me. I mean, now I know because I was a target individual. I guess they was just trying to get me to, so they can experiment on me. That's probably what it was. That had to been what it was. You know what I'm saying? Because I told you I was born into this. I wanted to do another video about about these gateway programs too. But anyway, because I believe a lot of us, we're in these gateway programs. So yeah, so like I said, for all the real TIs, man, this ain't nothing new. You've been watched and surveilled your whole life. You just didn't know until they revealed it to you, until they made it known. But anyway, going back to this right here, you heard about the double bone density and everything because kids is just sitting around not doing nothing. I mean, you got to know that the American Army, the American military just got to suffer now. Because at least back in my time, we was physically fit. Like, I was highly active. I didn't play sports, but I was just still highly active. I used to run around. I used to run. I used to always do push-ups and work out. I told you I was always infatuated with muscles. You know what I'm saying? I love muscles. You know what I'm saying? So I was always trying to get them. Growing up, I was a real skinny kid. You know what I mean? So I was idolized by Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Van Damme, which was a real great thing though coming up. Incredible Hulk. Everybody had muscles back in the day. In this day of time, you see what the dudes look like today, like a bunch of gang stalkers and bots. Soft ass dudes. You know what I'm saying? But back when I was coming up, men looked like men. It was masculine, had hair on their chest. You know what I'm saying? Especially back in the damn 80s, man. Everybody was hairy. It was nasty. But, you know, things was masculine though back in that time. You know what I mean? And people was physically active. But now with all these video games and these lazy ass kids and the GMO foods and stuff and obesity on the rise, I mean, come on now. You got somebody 15, 16 years old. They can't even do 10 push-ups. Which that's all we did coming up. You know what I mean? It was push-ups. I used to do push-ups on my knuckles when I was 16 years old. On the streets, on the concrete. Because I used to watch Bruce Lee and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So it was a different mind back then. Ask me, can I do push-ups now on my knuckles? Hell no, you know what I'm saying? But back then, I used to do it. You know what I mean? So just imagine the kids now, these McDonald's eating, children 16, 17. They trying to go in the military, man. Man, you going to get your ass. You relying on the military today, you going to get your America going to get that ass kicked. You know what I'm saying? Because you already know you can't mess with China's military. Them people were there fit and in shape. But then again, at the same time, obesity is everywhere too. Because they got McDonald's too over there. People getting fat over in China too, but ain't nobody fat like America though. So America's on a different level. You know what I'm saying? But I believe in military. I believe in China though. They probably got robotic soldiers. I don't even, and this probably another good reason too. You think about it. This is probably the reason why they're implementing this AI, because they know that they can't rely. They can't rely on a human being no more. A human being is useless right now. So we done already used you up for the military. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got back in the day, y'all done got Agent Orange and these post traumatic stress disorders and committing suicide. All these vets committing suicide. The beast done already used y'all up. So so they ain't even worrying about y'all no more. They ain't even worrying about the fat kids, because now they got AI to take over. So they're gonna have robots. You know what I'm saying, in the military, which they probably already got now. They got these drones. So at the end of the day, when you think about it, I guess the U.S. military isn't weak so after all, because people are obsolete. It's a wrap for people. They're using technology now to do everything. So, so they ain't worrying about Fat Joey. You know what I'm saying, or because they can't pass the physical ed test. You know what I'm saying? People are throwaways. You know what I'm saying? So they're just expendable people. You know what I'm saying? Right now the beast is more so into their technology, because technology is kicking ass. Technology is ruling the world. You know what I'm saying? Humanity is the flesh is obsolete, dog. It's about to be nothing but metal out here. And the flesh is obsolete. Metal, Terminator, Skynet, baby.
18 to 25 do not do 30 minutes of exercise a day, let alone in a week. And for the military, that's bad news, because the DoD determined that 70% of the young people who we...
And that's big. 70. You mean there's only 30% left? That's big.
need to qualify for the military can't, because of physical stuff and health reasons. So the 30% who can, they keep telling themselves, oh, I'll work out when I get into basic training. So what's happening is that these people are going to basic training and they're having all kind of issues. They're having stress fractures, they're having injuries, and all kinds of medical
kinds of stuff, and then injuries. I mean, come on, you 16 years old and you getting injuries already. Not saying that you can't get injuries because you're young. That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? People play football and bust their knees all up, back all up, and you be messed up for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Some heal, most don't. So, but I can just imagine though but injuries usually happen to some fit people. So just imagine these non-fit people, these people they ain't fit at all. They're gonna be getting injuries.
issues that's getting them medically discharged before their career even starts.
Ain't that some stuff? Really? Ain't that some crap? They getting discharged before the career even start. Already messed up. Them bust their back all up. The knees is shot. Whatever. Shin splints. All types of feet. Damn. They messed up their feet. You know what I mean? Because look. I can imagine you already know in the military you're gonna have to do a lot of running. So you gotta have good feet. I don't know if you ever had shin splints before. Shin splints is terrible. You know what I'm saying? Comment down below if y'all know what I'm talking about.
And for the ones that don't, they're getting recycled back a week or two so they can pass their PT test. So you got to ask yourself, are you willing to do PT? Are you willing to do it before you join? Stop saying that, I'm going to do it next week. I'm going to do it next week. And then next thing you know, you find yourself in basic training and you haven't done it. And then once you graduate basic training, are you willing to continue doing PT? Because what we're seeing is that a lot of the young people who join, very quickly after they graduate basic training and tech school, they fall out of shape and they have a hard time passing their PT. So are you willing to do PT? And I'm serious, are you willing to do fitness? Basic training is not gentle. I know a lot of people like to think that the Air Force has the most gentle basic training, but even in the Air Force, they're going to push you. I know y'all are thinking that their job is to get you into shape, but they can't get you into shape if you don't even have a shape to build. But they're going to try, and it's going to either be easy or it's going to be hard. But
The best thing I could recommend, dog, is to stay in shape. That's it. If you join in the military, if anybody watching this channel, and you trying to join the Air Force or the military in general, get in shape before you go. Don't be like, oh, I'm gonna go over there and then they're gonna get me in shape. Like he just said, they can't get you in shape. You got to do it yourself. All you gonna have is a bunch of recruiters yelling at you and screaming at you, and you gonna start breaking down crying, and they're gonna bring the bitch out you. I wanna go home with my mommy and play video games and gang stalk. And this is everybody got a lot of gang stalkers this day too, because people are pussy these days. You see what I'm saying? We got a lot of soft people, but this is a soft ass generation. To sit here and want to just monitor and track people and bang on walls and stuff, people don't got no cojones no more. So they can't even you do PT and go to the military and be all you can be in the army because they soft. It's easy to just drive around in a red car or something and chase people. But go there and go to the army and do 1,000 push-ups a day and gotta get up and run 5 miles, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then get sprayed down with cold water. You know what I'm saying? They got somebody yelling at you and everything. You ain't getting no sex life and nothing. You know what I'm saying? You gotta eat their food and wake up when they tell, man, come on, you're not doing 1,000 pull-ups, crunches all day. You're not built for that. But you can bang on walls though, like a dummy. You see what I'm saying? So this is all America's fault. Because America gave them the job. So this is America's doing. So America then created idiocracy like the movie. They done created this experiment. This is all an experimentation. We're living in the experimentation. So when you see the population all jacked up out here today, they're immensely mind controlled. You got to look at them and be like, yeah, y'all dumbass people. But at the same time, you really got to blame the government because the government did it. Okay, let's just keep it real. The government is doing it. Okay? All these experimentations that they doing. Biological warfare. Food is jacked up. Everything. You know what I'm saying? They literally messing with people's minds. You know what I'm saying? Making people lazy, making people, do dumb things. And then how you gonna give somebody a job to track and surveil somebody and give them a car and give cards and a place to stay so they can bang on the walls all day. Like, the government is actually doing it. You know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, the people are so duped. They don't ask questions. They don't be like, man, what the fuck? Why would the government give me a job to spy on my neighbors? What the hell is this about? So if I'm spying, if they give me a job to spy on my neighbors, then who's spying on me? And then, you got people spying on you, and then somebody else spying on the person that's spying on you. And then before you know it, we got this big ass police state out here, and people don't even realize that they then created a police state. You know what I'm saying? Everybody out here surveilling everybody. So, like, at the end of the day, you gotta blame the government, and then at the same time, you gotta blame the people because the people are dumb.
One way or the other, they're going to try to get you into shape. So don't make it hard on yourself. I always tell people to start running, start doing push-ups, start doing sit-ups, because those are the basic workouts that you have to do when you get into the military. Start light, start slow. Don't do too much. Just do enough to start getting yourself in shape. Third thing I want to talk about, when I was a recruiter back in Iowa, one of the main things I saw was prior service people, meaning that they used to serve in the military branch, coming back into my office and telling me that they regret their decision. And I say, what happened? Why do you regret your decision? They said, I was just tired of the military. I did a 4-year or I did a 6-year contract. I got back out into the civilian world and got smacked in the face with reality that I probably should have stayed in. So here's something no recruiter will probably tell you. Transitioning back into the civilian life out of the military is not easy. There was a Pew study done, and it said that 44% of people transitioning back into the civilian world have a hard time. And it's mainly because people who...
And I could see that. I could see that's the same. You can compare that to a person that just did 15 years in the penitentiary. 10 years in the penitentiary, whatever. You do them large numbers. Transitioning, going back to the matrix, going back to the bricks, it's a different reality. You know what I'm saying? So I can imagine the same as somebody being in the military for that long, and then now you gotta go home and work at a Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Or something else, whatever you're doing.
join do not have a plan for when they get out. So you need to be asking yourself, what benefits are you going to take advantage of? So that way, when you transition back into the civilian world, you're not going to end up like a statistic and not have yourself set up for your civilian life. So are you going to use your tuition assistance and get a degree? Are you going to take advantage of the post 9/11 GI Bill? Are you going to get any certifications for the career that you're doing so you can use them in a civilian world? Are you saving enough money? Do you have an emergency fund so you can transition back into the civilian world and not land flat on your face? If you don't have an answer to those questions, then you should start planning now. I'm talking about before you actually join. You should start planning your 4 or 6 year plan, so that way if you don't decide to stay in the military, that you can transition back into the civilian world. The fourth thing I want to talk about, and this one is super important. When I was joining back in 2006, I was in a delayed entry program, and I got pulled over, and they gave me a ticket for driving with no insurance. They told me that it was super simple, that all I had to do was provide proof of my insurance to the court, and they would drop everything. So I did that, and I thought it was super simple, super easy. There was no reason to mention it to my recruiter. I get in the Air Force, and while I'm in tech school, I had somebody come to my classroom with a badge, and he was saying, hey, you didn't mention to your recruiter about this driving with no insurance ticket on this date. And I was like, oh, snap. Like, I didn't think it was important to do that. So that decision almost cost me my whole Air Force career. They had me in this thing that they called admin hold, and they were trying to figure out what they were going to do with me. The only reason why they let me stay in the Air Force was because I got top grad or distinguished grad in my tech school. That's the only reason why they let me stay. Even though it was something super small and minor, it looked like I was hiding something from the military. So what I'm saying is, if you're lying about something, most likely they're going to find it. Whether they find it at MEPS or whether they find it while you're actually serving. You do not want to get caught lying because they can't get you for erroneous enlistment. And the majority of the time when something like this happens is when people are trying to get top secret jobs. So what happens when you go to basic training? If you have a top secret job, they're going to sit you down and they're going to ask you a bunch of questions and scare you, shake you up, and say that we're going to find out. And that's when people start mentioning things that they did not tell their recruiter. Not only does this not get them the top secret job, but this gets a lot of people kicked out of the military entirely. So my biggest advice is ask yourself and don't underestimate how deep the military will go to find out. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just letting you know that your past can and will catch up to you.
Now that's crazy.
All right, the fifth.
That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I mean, I can understand you got a rap sheet, you know what I'm saying, of a long list of stuff that you've been doing. You ain't been, but I mean, he's talking about a damn insurance ticket. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, he didn't think it was no big of a deal. He went to court. He showed proof of insurance. They threw the case out. He left it alone. And that joint carried over to the military, and he was about to, and it almost jeopardized him his career over a citation. The military that damn petty? Damn. You know what I'm saying? You can get tossed out that easy? That's crazy, man. It's almost 20 minutes. We got almost 19 minutes, man. Let me let it go. Got a couple more minutes, man.
Thing I want to talk about. When I joined the Air Force almost 20 years ago, I was going to sleep probably like 2:30 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, out partying. When I joined, we were waking up at 4:30 in the morning.
I want to let y'all know what time it is right now while I'm recording this video. It is 5:24 a.m. The birds is out chirping right now. Beep, 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 beep. You know what I'm saying? It's the Michael Jackson song. It's the break of dawn. I need to play that song. I ain't played that song in a long time. But the sky, I'm looking at the sky right now through the window, and it's just starting to crack. You know, some light is starting to crack through. You know what I mean? So it is early in the morning, because I went to sleep earlier, and I've been up since, what time did I wake up? I don't know, 1 o'clock or something. So yeah, man. So what do y'all think, man? Comment down below, man. What do you think? Should people in this day and time join the military? And can they join the military? Are they physically fit? Are they mentally fit to survive the military? You know what I'm saying? Because I believe it's the yin and the yang. You know what I'm saying? You get something good out of it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the matrix is collapsing. So I mean, honestly, I wouldn't advise nobody to go in this day of time. I think that if anybody should have went, it should have been, back in the day. From I believe it seemed like from the '90s in the early 2000s should have been that would have been it. From like maybe 2000 and I don't know 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying? From anything above then, I don't know about recommend nobody to go to the military no more. You know what I'm saying? I think if you should have went back then. If you ain't go by now, forget about it. But hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say with the Hodge twins because this guy right here kind of like he remind me of the Hodge twins. He look like the Hodge twins. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever. Do it. What he say? Eat what the fuck you want to eat. You know what I'm saying? You can do whatever you want. If you want to go, go. You know what I'm saying? Just listen to what my man said. You know what I'm saying? You better go ahead and get in physically. You better get in physical shape right now. You can't do 20 push-ups, then you must forget about the military. You better go ahead and bust them push-ups out. You better do them crunches. If you can't get up and run 3-4 miles early in the morning, you know what I'm saying? In the cold, in the heat. Oh, you gonna have to really, it's bad. Look, if you do that now, if you start all these things now, it'll be a breeze by time. You know what I'm saying? Just think about it. If you want to just make a plan. Okay, I want to join the military in the next coming year. So you got to train hard like hell for the whole year. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And get your game up. And then by the time next year come, then you can go ahead and join. And then when it's time to, take those PT tests or whatever, that basic training or whatever, you be ready. And everybody's struggling, and you be over there, they be looking at you like you the god. You be running 5 miles easy, you know what I'm saying? Banging out hundreds of push-ups and pull-ups and sit-ups. You know what I'm saying? Shadow boxing. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? This guy, everybody all fat and out of shape, struggling, crying, calling on Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Boogies coming out of their nose. You know what I'm saying? You over here looking like Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Easy. So with that being said, y'all, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, man. Holla back. I'm gonna end this video, man. I might make a part 2 of this. Stay tuned. We out.